really curious to listen to this because this is essentially the evolution of Photon, of Fluctuation, which is really, really cool. See if you can spot it. I'm going to see if I can spot it. Let's dive into some of the details here and also talk about some of the emotional expression of certain instruments that really help us elevate how we feel about the music. Yeah, so it's really cool. I'm going to stop and start a ton in this video, but like when we first listen in, isn't it fun how you hear the guitar bum, 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 bum. The guitar is actually the leading like bass quality in this, followed of course by the strings. And the strings are doing something interesting because they're going da 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 da. They're building, right? They're building da 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 da, and it causes a feeling of intensity. Right? Feel that tension, and then you get it too. That causes tension. It makes you feel like, oh my god, okay, I'm awake. Okay, here we go. It's time. Suspension. That's so cool. Break. Caesura. Pause. And then you have the guitar, which is so underutilized in classical orchestral writing. We don't really ever hear a guitar, which is very interesting to me that that's not an instrument that's typically used in a traditional orchestration setting. But here we have it kind of on full display, so it's cool. To me, this is extremely heroic too. Right? It feels like, it doesn't feel like a battle where our back is against the wall. It doesn't feel like a battle that is pushing us to our limits. It actually feels more like a dance and more of a, and of course it's interesting to say that too, because Fontaine has a ton of waltzes in its OST, but it just feels like, come on baby, let's go, you know, let's twirl me around, let's spin around. I also feel like there's a bit of the swirling quality a little bit, which, you know, could represent the water, could not. It's just like, that's a personal thing that a personal vision I see when I think about Fontaine. You know what I mean? It dances. It's very bouncy. It's very lively. And I love there too that we get the horn comes in, and then it's actually the guitar that has the final like lick of that phrase. It resolves there before we jump into the next section. And this is exciting because this is the Photon of Fluctuation section, but you hear and you have the piano and the guitar, and it has this beautiful dance-like quality between these two instruments now. And the other instruments are kind of throwing themselves in there, having asides, having conversations with the piano and guitar. The piano and guitar are in a kind of in a relationship, if you will. And then the castanets. So the castanets are really interesting to me too, because the castanets are such a, when I think of castanets, I think of a very Spanish influence. I think of Carmen. Right? It's just so interesting how the castanets, I guess, you know, you could say that the castanets represent like the seashells of underwater per se, right? Like they're shaped in a certain way. They look like, you know, mussels or clams. So you could I mean, I'm way off, but it could be. I love the swirling too. And I think it's worth pointing out that Photon of Fluctuation has been the battle theme for all of Genshin Impact since Genshin Impact has come out. And now, how many expansions are we out? 1, 2, 3. If you count Mondstadt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we've had 5 versions of this theme. And how cool that we are not actually leaning too far on that, but actually creating our own version of it now in Fontaine. It's fresh, it's new, it sparkles a little bit. It has a beautiful sheen to it, and it's not repetitive because we've reinvigorated that time and time again. Sharp, sharp. Key change. Building. Beautiful violin there. Sounds like a viola, actually. Listen to how amazing that guitar is. Boom, 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 boom. And then you've got the piano going in the lower part of the range going bum, bum. So fun. God, Genshin is so easy to talk about. You hear how it like sets it? And then we're dipping down. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Right? It's so satisfying. I love that. But let's re-listen. Oh god, that's such a satisfying. It almost sounds like Fire Emblem Three Houses, but check out how satisfying that is. One more time. It's such a fantastic rhythm. Like right. One more pass. It's just so good. Listen. What a fun recap. And then you in the space you have the harp going glissando. How satisfying is that? How satisfyingly fun is that? It's incredibly fun. There's Photon Fluctuation. Like the fact that people are never really going to get to this part of the music because of levels and stuff, like it's just incredibly satisfying. That then I've never even heard this second section. So this second section is just delicious because you have the piano basically playing off of what the guitar did at the very beginning. But now we have this entire second section. Now the piano and the castanets are leading the charge. You never hear this combination of instruments. It's amazing. That percussion is playing in there. The build up in the strings. Drum set. And I love that. That's undulating rhythm mixed in with a little bit of that Fontaine mysteriousness that we hear with like Linny and Lynette and the whole like magic show thing. It spins in there really subtly but nicely. Slow build up again. Look at the way the piano is arpeggiating up and down. Change. Slowing down. And I love that. I love that we're basically borrowing that melody that we heard originally in the trumpet and then in the guitar. But we heard that melody twice earlier, and then we have this slow down. Here, you take a violin. And the violin, of course, is like the violin just takes it and runs with it and just goes. Trading. Yeah, welcome to the show, baby. Oh, wow. You know what's crazy is that this kind of feels like jazz in a way. It feels like we're like taking something and we're just extrapolating it, and each drum and each instrument is getting its own little section to play with. You know what I mean? It's so cool. It almost feels like the way that we do that in jazz. Each instrument gets their chance to shine. Every soloist gets an opportunity to get up there and vibe. But in this case, we're in a structured meter, and each instrument has to play within the lines, you know, color within the lines, which is really neat. Nice slow tempo. Let me pick it back up. Photon of Fluctuation. Kind of a nice subtle ending. What a wonderful little battle theme. And the thing is, it's like, you know, battle themes can have all sorts of different emotional context behind them, but this one feels optimistic and full of smiles and opportunity and joy and mirth and merriment, and yeah, we can dance all you want. And actually there's two different melodies. There's that what I just sang, and then there's the other one that reminds me of Fire Emblem, you know. Like, tell me that doesn't just scream out. Ba-dum-bum, bum-bum-bum-pow. Yes, it just is so heroic and satisfying, and I love it. And there's lots more Genshin Impact on the channel, and a lot more to come, of course. Feel free to like and subscribe, and check out the links in the About section if you want to support the channel. See you later.